It's 10 o'clock. Welcome on Joy News Desk. Coming up, mobile phone subscribers complain about unsolicited mobile phone service subscriptions, which are causing their airtime to run out quickly, quicker than expected. Details from a research by Love FM's Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah will bring you those. And long queues characterizing the ongoing SIM card registration remain same after weeks of complaints from customers. We'll hear from the telcos and the National Communications Authority. We'll also be telling you what you need to know about the new pension increments announced by SNIT. 10%, what does that mean to you? We'll bring you details of these stories and more, including business and sports, all of that in this package. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Let's start with our phone subscriptions. Have you been experiencing faster mobile credit depletion soon after recharging? Perhaps it's about time you started checking the number of mobile service subscriptions on your phone. Love News investigations have found out that as high as 95 services are unknowingly being subscribed to by mobile phone users.
100 affected users were therefore selected for this exercise. The survey found 95 unknowingly subscribed services. Out of these services, Games 24 Pro, Jobs.go Plus, M-Scorer, RD Sexy Pink, a music app constituted the frequently occurring services from 6 and above. RD Sexy Pink and Jobs.go Plus were found among 12 users. Games 24 Pro, a music app, on 12 and 13 users respectively. M-Scorer took the first place, being found with 20 users. Our survey found the subscription charges range from 19 pesos to 85 pesos. One of the subscriptions which appeared in 35% of the affected users was M-Scorer. This service carries a hefty price tag of 75 Ghana pesos. Just when we thought we were done, we chanced on another service known as Premium Trivia. Premium Trivia topped with 85 pesos. According to the CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Kenneth Ashibe, many of these unsolicited subscriptions are being perpetuated by the National Communications Authority licensed third parties.
Third parties who have been given licenses by the NTA, and some of them, true, they don't go by the processes. So I know what the networks are trying to do is to make sure that for every subscription that you do, you are giving the option to sign in, So all of those are kind of policies that we're trying to get enforced.
Dr. Kester Quest Afechi of the Ghana Telecom University, who has no idea of how he subscribed to one of his 4 subscriptions, believes mobile users subscribe to these services unknowingly. He said these requests to subscribe appear at the end of calls and sometimes text messages.
Okay, so normally when people make calls, then they realize that there is a pop-up that comes. So they click on these pop-ups without knowing that these pop-ups will lead them to subscribe to things that they have not intended to subscribe to. And some of these things ended up deducting money from their account. So they also receive text messages sometimes, and then these things pop up as well, and then they click on it. So most of the subscribers of the telecommunication network don't actually subscribe to them as regularly as other subscription services are. So for example, if you want people to subscribe to a particular service, you have to first advertise the service, and then they will have to use a short code to get access to that service. So they enter the short code and follow the prompts, and then they can now subscribe to the service that you want them to subscribe to. But what is going on these days is that, as I said, immediately you finish the call, the pop-ups comes, and sometimes there is no message attached to the pop-ups. It's just a message that comes with an OK. You click on the OK, leads you to another one. Some don't even lead you to anyone. Before you realize, you subscribe to some of these services. So that is what subscribers are going through these days. Yeah, for the telco services, what they have to do is to monitor their network and then be sure that the people that they give access to for certain services don't abuse it by using these things to extort money from their subscribers. Because if monies are getting deducted from the subscribers' accounts and they realize that if they use this telecommunication network, their credits run down, they would end up using other services, because the subscribers are going through a lot when it also comes to this mobile money services, the scammers, and all those kind of issues when it comes to the WhatsApp they use and other services they use with their mobile phone. So when this one adds up to it, it creates a burden, and they feel that the network is not secure again. So they will better go to network providers that provide them more secure communication and also ensure that their subscribers are well protected. So one of the things also that the telecommunication services can do is to send messages regularly at the end of the month to alert subscribers in terms of some of the subscriptions that they have, so that when they go through the list and they realize they've not subscribed to a particular service, they can remove that. And they have to make the process of the removal also very easy and simple for the subscribers, so that they will not go through the headache trying to find out how can I get off this or whatever.
In the meantime, Dr. Quistafechi also advises mobile phone users against clicking on pop-up messages. He says mobile phone users can simply click on the power button. Reporter for JoyNews, Kwesi Debra.
Well, the question is, why do mobile telecom service providers give access to third parties to offer you these services without your consent? It's use of data protection here. How about the NCA and its responsibility and gatekeeping role to ensure the telcos do not exploit customers? Joining us live for a conversation is a data protection expert and former chief executive of the Ghana Data Protection Commission, Mrs. Teki Akwete Falconer, for more. Thank you, Mrs. Falconer, for joining the conversation. Now, does the subscriber have the right to complain about how the service provider is giving third parties access to his or her data?
Good morning, and thank you for bringing me online. Definitely, the subscriber has a right to know who is getting access to their information. And even when it comes to data or monies that they are spending, then they have the right to know how the monies that they're buying, how the monies that they put in on their phone is being utilized. So on both aspects, the subscriber has a right to on the telecommunications operator to communicate in a very clear manner to the subscriber how their information is being used and how their airtime is equally being used as well.
So now that you've set the tone for the conversation from there, why then is it that the telcos have not acted up to this point in time? Because it appears these are things. So I'll cite a personal example. There was a time when I unsubscribed from a lot of these, and after a while, I had a number of them brought back. So what are the legal issues in there? Why is it possible for the telcos to keep allowing these groupings or whatever to keep subscribing customers clandestinely? What clandestinely, I should say. What could be done to remedy the situation?
I believe that these are some of the reasons why we have laws there, and our laws must be enforced to ensure that everybody stays within the remits of the law. If you look at billing, even from the telecommunications perspective, I do not think that as subscribers we have very clear views on how we are billed and how monies that we put on our phone is utilized. And that is one flaw where the communications law clearly spells out that, the customer and the subscriber should be giving clear information. Of course, there are requirements where we can make complaints, and I expect the NCA to also react. But it comes from a number of sides. The NCA has the oversight role to ensure that, the subscribers are being protected, so to speak. And it is the NCA's role to enforce the law as required. So I think that's where the biggest challenge comes in. The other side has to do with the data protection laws and enforcement of the laws. Of course, aspects of the enforcement also rest on the individual to ask questions and to make sure that they clearly understand. But one of the clear obligations under the data protection law, when you're communicating with consumers, is to make sure that you're communicating in a clear manner that they can understand. So if you're sending me a message that hitherto I will quickly put off, but in the process, I am subscribing to a service. These are things that in other jurisdictions, regulators will come in, and I think that is where we are failing. We have the laws there, but we are not adequately ensuring that, the consumers are properly protected.
Right. So when you say this is where we are failing, is that to stretch the conversation, or by extension, a failure on the part of the NCA?
I think it's a failure on the part of the regulators to put in the mechanisms that make sure that the operators are doing what they are required to do, when it comes to that. But also, we as consumers or subscribers have some obligation to complain or to make complaints to the requisite regulators again. And I think that is also something that we should be doing a lot more of, to make sure that we keep the operators on their toes.
Beyond these that you've mentioned, some people may suggest taking up the matter legally. What do you see to be the bottlenecks that could accompany such a process? These are huge multinational corporations, the telecoms agencies. What do you think would emerge from a situation like that?
We can't shy away from pushing for the enforcement of the laws, and that is how laws work. Yes, they are huge multinationals and they may have a lot more resources, but I think that it's about time that we start taking some of these issues up,
Right.
as consumers, to make sure that the right thing is done. Until we push for the enforcement of the laws, every person or anybody, be they huge corporations or smaller corporations, will take advantage of the loopholes that exist. It's just because we're not enforcing the laws.
Mrs. Faulkner, thank you so much for your time. We also have Dr. Ken Ashigbe, CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, joining the conversation. Do tell, is the Chamber aware of the unsolicited service subscription? How much do you know about it?
Well, thank you very much. And I am pretty sure Multimedia was at the 19th Knowledge Forum that we had. I remember seeing a story that Love FM did, where they referred to that. So at this Knowledge Forum there was a session that was delivered by Ernest Osepoku, who spoke about this unsolicited electronic communications and the challenge there. And at that session, that's where we put out those numbers that the various operators had done to help customers, know subscriptions that they have, so that if there are any of them that had been added that they either did not know about or did,
right.
Without, really looking at, they can clean it up. And then also, there's been quite a lot of work that has been done by the operators themselves. And one of the things that have been, policies that have been put in is ensuring that there is a two-tier process of signing on to these subscriptions. You find out that in the past, you used to have the situation where, you might go to a website, you provide your data, your information, there's a link there, you click it, and then you're signed on to a particular subscription. And so to make sure that the consumers give their consent, so it's been made a double-tier process where you need to confirm that this is a particular subscription that you want. Then also there are various ways that beyond customers themselves dialing the various short codes that the various operators have provided, the operators themselves also go in to clean up, some of the subscriptions. So a typical thing they would do is that if they find out that for some of the operators, if about 30% of your total monthly spend is spent on some of these subscriptions, it's definitely likely that, this might be something that you might not have consented to. So those ones could be deactivated. The situation in which maybe a request for payment would have been sent to you 3 times and you've declined. It tells that this is a subscription you are not interested in. Those ones are taken off. So there's several, and then they look also at your patterns, if there's a drastic change in them. These are all ways in which these unsolicited subscription or communications are being dealt with. And there are constant, recently, the regulator meets up with the operators to discuss the actions that they are taking to ensure that these unsolicited communication and subscriptions are dealt with.
How has the Chamber addressed these concerns so far? From your specific end, what have you done in this respect?
So that's why I talked about the knowledge forum that we had at the Labadi Beach Hotel was one of them in terms of educating the consumers about, how the challenges with this and how to deal with it. And beyond that, we've been engaging our members in terms of all the work that they've been doing. I'm pretty sure in the coming days, we would have another forum to, share some of, what has been done and what needs to be done from our side as well as from the operator side. We are also planning a meeting with the value-added service providers, to also engage them and let them be aware of the unsolicited electronic communication policy directive from the NTA, so that, we all would ensure that we are only subscribing consumers and subscribers onto any of these services when they have given their consent. When they have not given their consent, that is not supposed to be done. So that is the next step that is going to happen in the next few days. I'm sure by the 1st of February, this engagement would happen.
Okay. Doc, very briefly on this one, my very final bid to you. Some people have said that there should be compensatory packages for most telecom subscribers or phone subscribers who have gone through these ordeals. What is your quick take on that, and what do you think the Chamber can do in that respect?
So that's what I'm saying, that there's been quite a bit of work that has been done in terms of dealing with the challenges. You see, some of the subscriptions happen either, knowingly, the person, you might not know, somebody might take your device and do it, or you might have clicked on a subscription, you've gone to another website, you gave your details, and then you clicked on a link there, and then you find yourself being, subscribed to that. And so what has happened in all of these situations is even knowing that whether you did it knowingly or unknowingly, and we realize that the patterns are not, that do not suggest that is happening. So that is them taking off. There are situations where when, in particular situations where these are made, complaints are made, they are investigated, and then the situations are dealt with. There are situations that have happened where even particular value-added service providers have been sanctioned, based on if some of those infractions have happened, and that 3 tiers of the sanction, pecuniary sanctions, and then to the point where the value-added service provider could even be blacklisted. So all of that is currently being done.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, for bringing us the details there. Dr. Ken Ashigbe, of course, CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications. Let's now bring you some information on SIM card ownership and usage in Ghana per the various network operators. So as you can see, the details there, ownership of SIM cards, 9%, that is who own active SIM cards, and 44.1% who do not own active SIM cards. And of course, you see there the source, the National Communications Authority and the Ghana Statistical Service. We also have multiple SIM card ownership now, and in that respect, there is 63.1% who own one SIM card. But when it comes to those who own multiple ones, 32.9% own 2 SIM cards, and there's also 4% who own 3 or more SIM cards. Those are the statistics. Further details, those details used for SIM card registration so far, we have 87.5% owners. Then those pre-registered are 5.9%. Those from relatives, 5.3%. Friends, 0.7%. And others constituting 0.6%. We also have SIM card registration, and so far 98.5% have registered, and only 1.5% have not registered. And this, of course, brings us to the SIM card re-registration exercise, and mobile users are still having a hard time registering their SIM cards. The National Communications Authority, in the wake of public concerns, indicated last week that it was taking immediate steps to decongest registration centers by setting up additional spaces to increase the intake. In spite of these measures, many individuals are complaining of a number of hurdles which are making it difficult for them to get registered. The registrants are appealing to the authorities and the mobile network operators to help resolve the issues to aid a smooth registration process. My colleague Blessed Suga has more in this report.
Ministry of Communications and Digitalization on the 1st of October last year commenced the subscriber identity module registration exercise. As required by the legal instruments governing the process, the regulation mandates network operators or service providers to activate a subscriber identity module only after the subscriber registers the SIM as directed by the National Communications Authority.
On this very forum, we indicated that we would commence SIM registration in March 2020. However, due to the pandemic, we were unable to do so. I'm happy to announce that the Ministry and all stakeholders in the sector will launch the national SIM card registration exercise across the country next month in October. The Subscriber Identity Module Registration Regulations 2011, LI 2006, mandates network operators or service providers to activate a Subscriber Identity Module, SIM, only after the subscriber registers the SIM to an individual, certificate of incorporation in the case of a body corporate, or registration in the case of a partnership or an unincorporated body of persons, and provide an identification document as well. Only the national ID card, the Ghana card, issued to an individual shall be used for registration of SIM cards of citizens, foreign residents in Ghana, and foreigners staying in Ghana for more than 90 days. In the case of foreigners staying in Ghana for less than 90 days, a valid passport or other travel document will be required. This isn't the first attempt to register SIMs, but all previous efforts failed because of the lack of a verifiable, secure identification document.
With less than 2 months to the end of the exercise, many mobile users are still raising concerns about long queues and other operational issues that are creating challenges to the smooth rollout of the process. In a bid to address the public concerns, the National Communications Authority announced that it was taking additional measures to create ad hoc centers at lorry terminals, churches, and other public places to decongest other populated areas. However, several days after the directive, the conditions remain unchanged at many of the registration centers. At First Stop, a suburb of Nungwa here in Accra, some of the registrants who spoke to JoyNews say authorities have to act fast to resolve the situation before the deadline.
Months that I've been working here, it's very difficult as it is. Everywhere you go, you are very stranded for registering a SIM card, just for a SIM card, wasting a whole lot of days throughout here, and it's very frustrated. So we are appealing to the authorities to do something about it. They should have extended the days or the numbers that we could have time to do it, because some people, we are supposed to go to work or do our routine, normal routine, but we are here to stuck over here throughout the day, and it's wasted, and it's very frustrated. So we are pleading to them, because here is the case, the network is not working. I have been here getting to 2 hours now, and still I'm not hearing anything from the network or whatever it is. So it's becoming frustrated. I was told people are here 3 o'clock dawn, and they are numbered, but still some of them are still here before I came to meet them. So just imagine if the network is working now, we that came about 2 hours or whatever it is, what is going to happen? And it's very, it doesn't make sense. So we are pleading to them to do something about the time being or the factor of it, so that we'll see what we can do about the chip.
I get here 3 o'clock in the evening. Please, they should help us. Maybe next week I'm going to work. They should help us. The network is no good. I beg. All the time, they should give us enough time so that you can do it.
Although the network was functional at the registration center at Osu, registrants also say a lot more needs to be done to deal with congestion at the facility.
Around this time that the time is drawing nearer, there should have been a mechanism. Like you can see that a lot of people are here. I was thinking that a personnel can come outside, set another table so that the registration will move faster. Rather than us queuing here for long hours, I don't even know whether I'll have the patience to wait or I will go and come another time.
Other areas such as the Vodafone outlet at Circle and the MTN outlet located a few minutes away from the Nima Junction appear to be in order.
As we want it. It's fine. And this is my first time of coming here. But I've done some at MTN and Vodafone. But that place is also okay. And here it's moving faster than the others.
Those are some affected customers. The NCA, meanwhile, has been responding to concerns of subscribers who are queuing to register. It issued a statement on behalf of the telcos. We share with you now full details of that statement. And it says, NCA board mobile network operators CEO commit to a successful SIM card registration exercise. And the statement says, the Board of Directors of the National Communications Authority yesterday afternoon met with the CEO of mobile network operators and the developers of the SIM card registration application. This followed recent reports of subscriber challenges encountered with the ongoing SIM card registration exercise, which began on October the 1st, 2021. The meeting was to review and outline solutions for the issues identified with the exercise. The meeting reviewed all issues concerning the SIM registration process with specific focus on improving subscriber experience. At the end of the meeting, all MN MNOs, app designers, and the NCA agreed on the following. One, that all stakeholders, that is the NCA, all MNOs and app designers, are committed to collaborating to ensure the success of the exercise. Two, that all MNOs, that is mobile network operators, will work to improve customer experience at various registration centers to reduce and eliminate long queues at stage 2 of registration. 3, that all MNOs will take urgent steps to increase the number of agents or staff undertaking the biometric capture at the second stage of the exercise. Open up additional registration points and increase the number of devices for the biometric capture. 4, that the MNOs will establish the locations for the SIM registration for subscribers to easily locate centers close to them. 5, that there will be continuous updates of the SIM card registration application to ensure it is robust and efficient at all times. And 6, that there will be deeper collaboration to ensure that all associated challenges with the SIM card registration exercise are addressed promptly. It is the expectation of all stakeholders that all concerns regarding the SIM registration will be resolved for a successful exercise. And this, of course, was issued by the National Communications Authority on behalf of Airtel Tigo Ghana, Glo Ghana, MTN Ghana, and Vodafone Ghana. And the date on it, the 11th of January, 2022. From there, let's talk pension money. And the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has increased benefits to pensioners by 10%. The amount will affect the lives of 225,000 active pensioners. Addressing a section of the media at its 2022 indexation, the chief actuarialist of SNIT, Joe Poku, disclosed that the lowest earning pensioners would receive 332.48 Ghana cedis. The review was done in consultation with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, equal to or above the targeted inflation rate for 2022.
Who were receiving 300 cedis will now be getting 332 cedis, 48 pesos for this year. Now, for the highest pensioner in 2021, who was receiving 129,979 cedis, not 51 pesos every month. Let me say that, that's every month. That's what the SNET pension scheme pays to somebody on the pension payroll. Now, for this year, this person is going to receive 142,564 cedis, 97 pesos every month. The scheme is paying somebody this amount every month.
Meanwhile, Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofori Tenkrang, states that the trust remains committed to paying all legitimate benefits accurately and timelessly.
We are committed to continue to pay pensions accurately, continuously, and promptly to all those who qualify to receive the SNIT pension. Just so that you know, up until November 2021, which is the 11 calendar months just before we went to spend Christmas, we had paid about 3.3 billion Ghana cedis, 3.3 billion Ghana cedis to pensioners in various forms of pension and associated benefits. And that works out to be about 300 million Ghana cedis a month. 300 million Ghana cedis a month. And I know when we do these things, this is a public interest, so there are even people watching us on the internet, people abroad. 300 million Ghana cedis a month is approximately, call it $50 million a month. $50 million US a month that we pay out. So it's a substantial sum of money that we administer, and we are committed to make sure that we do so transparently and diligently.
While some pensioners in the OT region have reacted to this, they tell OT regional correspondent Peter Senu the increase is not enough. Meanwhile, they want education on how to prepare for pension intensified.
It isn't okay with us. We need more of it to enable us exist for some time. Because of these things, people die out of frustrations. So we want more for us so that we can live. We want things that can say 20, 30, 25%. That will be okay for it. That will be okay for it. Though it will not be sufficient, but that is what we think that will carry us a little bit ahead. The health, like I mentioned earlier, due to the health status, and we need something like that. And some of us even still have children in school, in tertiary institutions. So we need more.
They may think that that's the best they can do. But frankly speaking, it's not good at all. It won't help us because many of us retired unprepared. Unprepared meaning that we were not given enough education or adequate education so that whilst we were in active service, we could prepare properly for pension. Many of us didn't do that. So we retired with children, some at the primary school, even some at the senior high, and some at the universities. So when the monthly pension comes, you must manage all these in addition to your home maintenance. So, my brother, it is not good at all. We were chatting about this a few weeks ago, because we were expecting something quite better than the 10% that you are telling me now. If it can be increased a little bit up to probably 40 or 50%, that will be quite good. Because at present I have 2 children, one at Methodist University, my brother. It's not easy. So we will appeal to government to probably talk it over with SNIT. If there is something government can do to top up this SNIT thing. Because when we say it, they say SNIT is not government. That SNIT is independent of government. So is it impossible for government to assist the SNIT in a way so that what they give us will be a little bit supportive than this sort of thing?
We pensioners will receive our salary on 2018 that way. Before we know what is happening. Every year they have been doing something for us. SNIT has been doing something for us, little things for us. As at now, I retired about 9 years now. My salary has not reached 1,000. So if the government is trying to do something, 10% will not be enough for us. Can do it 40, 30 that way to be okay for us. 30, that way, because the SNIT money is very small. If we have to go to Cap 30, it's okay, but at times they came and deceive us that Cap 30 is not good. So they put us on SNIT. Actually, we embrace it because when they told us that when you go to SNIT, after some days or some months, you can go for loan. They refused to give us the loan. Even when my boy was in university, I went for student loan, they said no. By that time too, I was on pension, 2013. So they can do something a little bit for us. We are begging the government.
Well, from pensioners, police officers too have been saddled with medical bills and difficult lives as a result of injuries suffered in the line of duty, who will now access financial help from a 1.6 million, actually a 6.1 million medical emergency fund unveiled by President Akufo-Addo. The fund is part of 3 major projects unveiled earlier today to boost healthcare delivery for men in the service. The other 2, a new outpatient department has been opened at the police hospital to ease congestion, plus a virtual medical center to help officers access medical services anywhere in the country. President Akufo-Addo spoke at the event.
I commend the police administration and the management of the police hospital for constructing this new OPD, which will help decongest the existing facility, which hitherto was responsible for seeing to patients with emergency cases, as well as to regular OPD patients. This new OPD, which cost a modest sum of 180,000 cedis, will be dedicated to emergency cases only, in line with best practices. It will ensure a clear line of separation between emergency cases and routine OPD visits, thereby improving the quality of service delivery at the hospital. I'm particularly excited about the establishment of the Virtual Medical Center, the second project I'm commissioning today at this hospital. As most of you may know, since I assumed office some 5 years ago, one of the obvious successes chalked by government has been the execution of the impressive agenda to digitize fully all aspects of our national life. Constructed at an equally modest sum of 50,000 cedis, the Virtual Medical Center, which is an end-to-end video hospital management system, will allow patients, no matter where they are located in the country, to undertake virtual consultation with healthcare professionals at this hospital. Police personnel, irrespective of their location, can now access healthcare services from the hospital anywhere in the country at any time.
Well, from the President, the Inspector General of Police, George Akuffo-Dampare, indicates how crucial the fund is, especially to those currently reeling from financial difficulties.
To your commitment towards the provision of logistics for the service and also ensuring the welfare and the well-being of the personnel of the service. Indeed, history will be very kind to you when tomorrow comes. More importantly, Mr. President, of the 3 projects that you are here to commission for us, the first one is to do with the new outpatient department, which in the past was part of the emergency department, making it difficult for the personnel to give the best of their services. With the decoupling of the normal OPD from the emergency department, we know that the service delivery at this place will improve and become better than before. The second item for you to look at, Mr. President, during the commissioning is the Police Virtual Medical Center, which has been set up for the purpose of ensuring that police people across the country can access health care from the comfort of their homes, the comfort of their offices, the comfort of their duty point, and the comfort of their villages and towns and cities that they work without necessarily showing up at the police hospital. We know that this project, if it is carried on to the letter, it will help us a lot and make the access to medical care for our personnel very easy and accommodating. The third one, Mr. President, is to do with the launch of Police Emergency Medical Intervention Fund for providing financing for personnel who sustain injuries or develop one medical condition or the other in the course of performing their duties.
On that note, we take a break for business.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Cocoa carriers have resumed work today following a week's sit-down strike to demand an increase in wages. Here's more from Kumasi.
For the haulage of one bag of cocoa, 62 pesos is paid to a carrier. 2 days after the sit-down strike, 20 pesos was added to the 62 pesos, but this was rejected by the carriers. However, after a series of meetings with management, the cocoa carriers have decided to accept the daily 82 pesos wage. Raymond Atanga is chairman of the Cocoa Carriers Association.
Came to a resolution that we are citizens of this country
And looking at things right now, it's not CMC that is suffering, because CMC is not an individual company, but our economy, we are suffering right now because we are bearing a cost that is not bringing profit, and then it's going to affect citizens at large and not only COCOBOD. So we came to understanding that at least we can be considerate to our nation, the motherland, our motherland Ghana, and then continue to do the work with some conditions.
They are not paying us, so they are not even the system to you, they don't even pay.
The cocoa carriers were worried about the hazardous nature of their work. A number of them exposed to chemicals have been reported ill. Others injured themselves due to the vigorous nature of the work.
My dangerous is even dangerous because the bag is 64 kilo and I carried it 2 times. I have to carry the bag. I have to remove 2,000 bags and they have to sample it, send it to a lab and come back before I will use that 2,000 bags and stack it to like a electricity pole.
25 and not 22.
And even when you reach the house, you can't even sleep. Chemicals is in the cocoa. Chemicals is even in the cocoa. They are killing, and the chemicals is killing us. Last year, 10 of our carriers died. If you confirm more soldier training, some of them pass out to
He said, I brought a few of my colleagues to work here with me, but they couldn't. Mr. Atanga says the government has assured the association of their safety henceforth.
In fact, most of the carriers here, Tema and Takra, they use hard drugs to be able to do this work. And as if they continue to use the hard drugs, we all must bear that it won't take long, they will get weak, and because of that, the tedious nature of the work and the hard nature of the work, whilst you are taking drugs and doing the work, your system becomes weak, and the moment every little sickness hits us, our system cannot fight against any sickness again. So the management also said that they will put our health concerns in place.
Some of the carriers have expressed dissatisfaction with the daily wage.
Now it has prompted all carriers that we shouldn't depend on carrying cocoa, but when we get the money, we should do other things. So the management of COCOBOD should be aware that next time, if they are waiting on us to strike before they will resolve or they will come to our aid, maybe they will not even see anybody here to carry the cocoa.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Now, requests for dollars to the forward auction sale witnessed significant increase in its first trading of the year. According to results released by the Bank of Ghana, $235 million in bids came from banks and businesses. However, the central bank disbursed all the $70 million that it had made available. The results showed demand for dollars is still high. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana has been giving reasons for the significant increase in dollars in its first forward auction for this year. Here's more.
The Bank of Ghana's sources say that the action was based on daily polls carried out by the regulator, which showed demand for the first quarter of this year usually picks up strongly. It was also influenced by how things have turned out in the first half of the year, as most businesses demand dollars to finance their imports. The central bank also argues that it is gradually wanting to use the auction as one of the main avenues for selling dollars to the commercial banks and businesses. This is due to the fact that the central bank has been able to use the program to better gauge the actual demand for dollars on the market, a move that should help the Bank of Ghana better regulate the local currency. Sources say that this, together with other programs that the Bank of Ghana is implementing, could go a long way to stabilize the Ghana cedi this year. Latest forecasts put out by some banks and analysts show that the cedi will suffer some declines or depreciation once again. However, the rates of depreciation might be slower than what was recorded last year.
And that's business for now. More after this break.
Hi, this is Lexus Bill, host of Drive Time on Joy 99.7 FM. Listen, you don't have to worry if you miss Drive Time or Personality Profile. It's going to be live on our podcast page. Just log on to www.myjoyonline.com/podcast. You can listen to Drive Time, Personality Profile, and any other of your favorite shows on Joy FM on that page. You don't have to miss a show at all. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Time for sports, and Muftal is here. Muftal, what exactly are you telling me that after Richard Comey went and got his face all bloodied and punched, and I'm sorry if I'm and earned some $750,000 dollars, the GBA is saying what?
They're demanding a percentage of the money he made from that fight. According to the president of the Ghana Boxing Authority, boxers are supposed to pay between 5 and 10%, but it is negotiable. You can even bring about 3% or even 1%.
But 10%, if they were to insist on that, that would be what, $75,000?
Yes, that would be like $75,000.
I like the way you said yes.
Yeah, but the point is that what matters is some of these monies are the way the Ghana Boxing Authority generates revenue internally,
right,
and they use that for the development of the sport in the country. However, they've relaxed the rules for so long to the extent that most of the boxers are quite reluctant.
Which is the point I was about to get to, because if there's a consensus, if there's a pattern they follow, there shouldn't be. This
shouldn't be a problem at all. So, but it has become a problem because over the years, the Ghana Boxing Authority have relaxed their regulations, making it very difficult for them to actually make demands from boxers like Richard Comey and Isaac Dogbe. What we understand is that they've spoken to Isaac Dogbe, who is here to officially respond to them on his position of that demand they are making from him. But Richard Comey, his manager, says that they're not willing to give her that money because they believe that the Ghana Boxing Authority does not deserve it. The Ghana Boxing Authority have also said that as the umbrella body for boxing in the country, they will stop Richard Comey from fighting with the colors of Ghana, if he doesn't make the payment. But the question is, can you stop a Ghanaian from being a Ghanaian? Because if you say I cannot use the flag to go and fight elsewhere, that's quite questionable. So we wait to see what will happen. But at this point, there's some bad blood between the Ghana Boxing Authority and Richard Comey, even to the extent that he was banned before the ban was lifted recently. So we wait to see what happens next.
We'll have more time to talk about this later. One thing on my mind that you could channel to the GBA, why the shifting cultivation, if you write, like 3%, 5%, 10%? Maybe you could put that.
I think their constitution should be very clear.
It should be. Thank you for joining us on Joy News Desk. That's how we wrap it up. You can check out more stories on myjoyonline.com. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Have a good day.